All right, welcome live back to my living room. We're still here, still at home, still locked down, and I think it's into another level of lockdown, whatever that means. I'm not keeping track anymore. Hey everybody, how's it going? Let's get this volume down a little bit here. All right, doing it all on my own here. And for maybe the fourth or fifth week in a row, broadcasting here on a Friday night in the beaches in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, for all you geography nuts out there, just north of the border. And so this is a podcast, basically continued on from a podcast I had on and off a few years ago where I was just audio interviewing artists and whatnot, and shooting the shit with people, just sometimes talking about random stuff. But now I've kind of focused on musicians and solo artists specifically, and mostly kind of artists I've worked with and toured with and done shows with and stuff like that. So we're all across the globe, and tonight we're exemplifying that by bringing in a guest south of the border. And as everybody knows, we're all kind of like stuck in our own little bubble, and it's kind of made touring next to impossible, like let alone doing any shows in your own city, let alone doing any shows whatsoever. So me, myself, and a few other colleagues of television broadcasting, we kind of like conjured up a thought of doing a show at the Painted Lady, which is a venue in Toronto, and one of the many venues that are pretty much on the brink of shutting down and not being around anymore. So mainly the basis of these topics and conversations with these artists have come down to like their vision of what tomorrow is for live music, what they see, venues becoming, and just what they've been doing over the lockdown, and stuff like that. So this is just all, a work in progress here, and we're just kind of, adapting to our scenarios. And so I'm going to bring in my guest, and no further ado, let's see if we can bring these in. Hey, what's going on? Let's see if we get this.
How you doing?
Hey, we got KufKnotzChristineElise and KufKnotzChristineElise. How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
So, give me a moment. Sometimes it's tricky with me doing the split screen. I have to.
Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
That's what you need.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I refresh it, and that works for me to get a split screen, but it just logged me out completely out of the whole program. Just didn't want anything to do with me. It just
Technology.
you're gonna learn the hard way. So this is the way it goes with you. Let me just try one more time, and I'm sorry if anything hiccup. Sorry. So one moment here. And no, doesn't want to behave. Sorry. Yeah. One more time. Sorry. Doesn't want to do it. It's just not having a good time with it. Let's see. No.
Oh.
You're up.
Sorry. This is... Oh, not letting me do it. Yeah, it's not letting me have a split screen for some particular reason.
Do we have to do anything on our end?
No, it's just you. It doesn't want to. It's just. And I paid for this program, so it's getting an F so far. Sorry. One moment. We're gonna try one more time, and then we'll just have to deal with it. That's
There you go.
Hey. Woohoo.
Or will I quit? Let's see if we can get a backdrop. Yay! Thank you for your patience, guys. It's been a whole long slew of patience. That's a really good metaphor to start the show. And thank you to that one patient viewer hanging in there. I really appreciate it. It's getting better from here. So yeah, thanks for joining me tonight, guys. And this has been, a real pleasure to have you guys join me. So
thank you for having
introduce
us.
yourselves. You're from Philadelphia and New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm KufKnotzChristineElise. I am a harpist and also a music therapist. And I'm in a duo with Kuf.
I'm KufKnotzChristineElise, MC, songwriter, Philadelphia based. Though we're back and forth between Philadelphia and Jersey at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I got some fancy tags here for you guys. You guys want to follow them on Instagram. This is brand new. I'm just like trying all this lower thirds out tonight too. And
there you go.
Oh, that's
perfect.
Great.
So yeah, I'll start. I'll get my first question really kind of is, and you guys we're in this transition as far as I'm concerned, is like, what do you see a venue coming out after all of this stuff, and what, like, obviously it's like the technology is involved with that moving forward, and you guys were always like well incorporated with that, kind of in a real-time fashion. Where do you see, like, what's your scope of venues moving forward, and if and when we get to move forward? And yeah, that we'll start with that.
Personally, I think I think it's really hard to even guess or know. just because things are so unpredictable these days. Like
Even more today, like we had,
it changes in the snap of a finger. But I do think that, like, compared to a year ago, things seem to be moving in a way where venues are slowly reopening. Unfortunately, a lot of the smaller, mid-size, small-size venues have not made it through the pandemic, which is super unfortunate. But the venues that did make it through and are continuing, it seems like even in this like past month and moving forward, that things are slowly opening up. It might not be full capacity, but they are opening up and having some shows.
And how long have you guys been in like a complete lockdown? Like no venues being open whatsoever? Like,
I think March
around March 14th was our
last year.
2020.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for you guys, but that was like complete lockdown right away last year for stuff like that?
That was our first canceled show. And then we had to cancel all of our tours after that. So that was when it really pretty much locked down, even for our, like, where we were, the community and everything.
Yeah, that bummed me out a lot because I was on my way home from Ottawa, and the next day, pretty much the NBA shut down, so that was the end of my job. And the NHL like 2 days after, so I was out of work right away. But the thing that really bummed me out was the week after, you guys were playing in Ottawa, and I had a gig the night before, and I was like, awesome, we're gonna meet up in Ottawa, and you know, just hang and shoot the shit and do tour stuff. And then we had a show here planned in Toronto. Like you guys booked me on a show in at Free Times, and we were looking forward to that, and et cetera. So hopefully, like, what can we do, right? There's nothing. It's just adapt, really. And
and hopefully when the time is right and it opens back up, we can circle back to that tour and those shows and you know, get back on that.
Also, I think it's going to look a little different going.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you that, Christine. Yeah.
Because we started when we were on tour for the past 2 years. We also created this like community outreach project, which was in addition to performing at night. We would do workshops, play music for yoga classes, go into libraries. So in all different places, and kind of planting that seed has actually helped us continue to go into these different avenues in the future and keep growing those things that we've kind of planted along the way. So I think that going further, it's going to have more of a variety of doing things rather than only focusing on performance. We're going to focus on a lot of different things to get as many people as we can together, and how safely we can do that, and just be around people, because it's been a while. So
yeah, I was going to say kind of a second part to that first question was because you guys have adapted to that already prior to the pandemic, and you guys were kind of like you said, you built up this community, and as you go to each city, it's kind of growing and growing and growing. And you kind of really have already stepped outside of that realm of what the traditional venue is or whatever, right? So it's like a lot of my discussions the last couple of shows have been like, what's the state of the environment are you going to listen to music to now? Live music. It doesn't necessarily have to be at a bar, quote unquote, drinking or whatever. It can be like at a cafe. There's all these variable scenarios where you can just listen to live music and enjoy live music, right? So you guys have already kind of incorporated that in a yoga community too, where a lot of your shows were intertwined with that, or kind of just like a fusion really of kind of live music. So you've so I guess out of this, wherever we come out of this, you guys are kind of already like trained and ready to go on that, and
Yeah,
so
for
like
sure.
or
That
looking
was
forward to that, or of whatever the adaptation is, right? Like
yeah, that was something that was pretty special for me. Like with this project, is it opened up a lot of different avenues of performances because it's classical and hip hop. It's like a harpist and spoken word or hip hop.
yeah,
It allowed us to play in venues I would have never even thought of playing at. Like we played in libraries. It's like I would have never thought of doing hip hop in a library. It's like what? But it's like it's been great, and it's just allowed us to reach a lot more people and interact with people we might not have interacted with at just venue shows. So yeah, that's been really cool.
also, yeah, like touching on that, where we met basically was kind of a show like that. It was just a loft in Montreal, and it was an
Yeah.
art show where people were artists were actually painting and doing portraits while we were performing. So I think I performed first. I'm not sure if who was, maybe you guys and Leah, or I'm not
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
when you guys and then Leah went, and that's where I met Leah, and I guess we all met there.
Yeah.
But that was something different for me too, which I've always been open for stuff like that, and Montreal kind of like opened the doors more for me for conventional stuff, like unconventional stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it a lot, and then I think the other time we only met physically was at the Painted Lady, was here in Toronto. It was the venue I'm speaking of. But yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that was a cool spot. That was like a fun little, almost like a dive bar.
That is, and
stuff around.
Well, that's one of more of it's become one of the staple ones in the city where it's people are like, yeah, that's the place to go.
Nice.
You want to go for a good jam, or if you want to like get taken serious as a performer in the city, you've played there, so it's like
nice.
But it's weird because I've been put in a situation, like I said at the beginning of the pandemic, where I have no choice, but I'm like, my career is kind of out of my reach now, so I had to kind of adapt, and I'm doing this, and I convinced the owners there to upgrade their internet. So I said, we can try something. I have good connections in broadcast, like a lot of skilled, talented people. So we did a live streaming multi-camera, like live broadcast from the venue. So we did myself and like 3 other artists. So we kind of just like did it just to do it, because out of the love of music, just to kind of like say, hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
These things still kind of have prevalence in the community. It's just as important as kind of anything else. But we just snuck them in basically, and it was like middle of December. It shut everything down again completely. So we've been in that lockdown since like middle of December. So,
and it's still going on, still locked down.
Yeah, there's they kind of eased it off the last week and a half, but then it just clamped down again, and now today it's like a double lockdown. I don't even know what that means anymore. I'm just like numb to everything. I just I'm in the East End and the beaches here in Toronto, so I'm lucky enough to be in a nice neighborhood where it's just like I can kind of check out everything that's going on. And, but yeah, I just kind of honed into this weekly thing where I'm just in doing this, and now I have something to look forward to, and
it's a good
chat about. And but yeah, why don't you guys tell us about some stuff? You have some a new album, right? I believe.
We do.
And is that on Bandcamp yet, or is that coming up on the
No.
7th? Or
No, well, I think we're putting a single out soon within the next month. Oh, look at that.
yeah, I didn't quite get the full that, but I'll get it in there. I
Word.
got tweaks.
Yeah, so we finished the album and we're looking to put the single out within a month or so. And then following that, we'll put
Gotcha.
the full album out. Yeah, it was like born out of, the lockdown and not being able to go out and interact with people. We put that energy into an album.
And how long was the process of that album? Like a year and a half? Or it's always kind of like stuff's preconceived before you really put anything to paper.
Yeah, so this one actually, it came pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like
I bet, yeah.
The first few months of the lockdown, I didn't work on anything. Christine didn't work on anything. We didn't have any like inspiration or push to do anything. And then I think like halfway through, maybe 3 months in,
like around June, maybe.
Yeah,
the summer provided a lot of inspiration.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then it was like a wave. A wave.
Oh, yeah. Wake up.
Yeah.
World alarm clock. Yeah.
Yes.
For real. And we just rode the wave and created and wrote, recorded. And originally it was going to be like a short 9-song album, but we kept it way old school, and it's like 15 songs.
Damn.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's hard. I know how hard it is to crank out 15 tracks. I've never done it. I've cranked out 9 in my own album. But yeah, that's impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a huge accomplishment. And what's the date again? You said in a few. So you're gonna drop a single first, and
we have a song called "Real Love"
Gotcha.
that we're gonna drop within the month, within a month or so, and then following that we'll release the album. And this album, so the first album we didn't do like we didn't release it on anything other than live shows. We just had the physical copy.
Selling CDs, yeah.
Yeah, because we were on the road. Old school.
Yeah.
And so we didn't release it on Bandcamp, on Spotify, SoundCloud, any of that. So this one we'll release it. We'll do a proper release and do it on, all the outlets.
Gotcha.
The internet outlets. And we'll have physical and vinyl.
And vinyl and cassettes.
Yeah.
Like going out on our merch store.
I'm
so I want merch so bad again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
for real.
That's great. That's great news. And how you guys were on the road quite a bit. I remember right up until everything came to a screeching halt. It was like a good I don't know, following you guys like for a while, but it seemed like 2 years you guys were really like just coming and going and coming and going. Every time I saw you guys online, you were somewhere else, and it was like, wow, that's cool. They're going all over. And you guys spent a good time in Alaska too, right? Just maybe give me a little rundown of that time, and it's coming out of that album, or is that in the you just released that one first album? Or
we
released Higher Grounds around that time. And kind of sold that album along the way. And we made a tour from Anchorage all the way up to Fairbanks, which is about 8 hours. And then stopped at all these little places on the way that artists typically go to Anchorage or Fairbanks, not like along the way. So it was awesome to go to these kind of little small communities that even in the dead of winter when there was no light at all, like the whole community came out because they
That's
were
dope.
excited that like music was coming to them, and we really got to know them on a personal level, and like it was just really cool.
Yeah, it was. It was a good
It was
vibes.
really cool.
And sorry, how long did you say you were out there for? A month or?
That trip was about 2 weeks,
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
and then we went back again to play at Salmon Fest, which is like one of their festivals there, and Trap Rabbit, which is a duo that we often play with as a full band. They joined us on that tour, so that was pretty sweet.
Nice. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, just as before things got shut down, I just started dipping my toes in the States, and I did a show in Buffalo, and then
Oh, nice.
I think you guys had gone to the West Coast already, and then after I saw you in Toronto, I think you guys had gone to the West Coast.
Yeah.
And then I went after in the new year, right at the beginning of 2020.
Oh, you were over the West Coast?
Yeah, we went to Seattle, and I went to
nice.
Portland, and played at this place called Tim's Tavern in it's a cool place. Anyways, I snuck in a video with my buddy that came with me. We managed to shoot a music video there, and the last day we were there happened to be like the first recorded case of COVID or something.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
They were just like, "Oh, what's the timing?" Because my friend, he was on his phone the whole time, and he's like, "You see what's going on in China and all this stuff? It's like shutting a city down." I'm like,
Yeah,
"What? It's not really registering, kind of." I'm like, "Is that really happening?"
Not here.
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, it's coming here soon. It's like just a matter of time." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." And then yeah, I snuck a tour in at the beginning of March at like Quebec and Montreal, Ottawa, Sherbrooke, all up there. And literally the day after I got back, it was just shut down.
Wow. Got the last few shows in.
So, and I remember you guys were talking about going to Europe too. I was like thinking of that too. And
yeah, it was, there was a few like, overseas places that we definitely, but it happens, and you roll with the punches and figure out what to do and how to stay moving forward and positive, because it's easy to get beat down over it. So
for sure.
Well, it's obviously it's been really hard the last year for a lot of people, and
for sure.
So I've been asking everybody, like what they've been doing the last year to kind of stay up and stay positive and be creative, because it's hard to like trying to think. I don't know. I've written more songs in the last year, but I feel like it's less spontaneously inspirational because I'm doing less things, you know what I mean? And I'm interacting less with people, because I feel like I get more inspired by places I go and people I meet and stuff like that. It just
for sure.
But also, like in a second part to that question, it allowed me to kind of catch up on a lot of things too, just my, everything in production in general, and just kind of like taking a breath after doing it for so hard for so long. And then Christine, if you want to touch on it, I know you had an injury, and I know you're still recovering from that, and that's a whole different change too, like and as well, on top of being in isolation and all this stuff. And so I guess, to the long question, what have you been doing to adapt, and stay positive, really, this whole time?
Well, in the beginning, I started making collages again, which was something I had stopped for a long time. So it was something that when the time opened up, I could tap into a different creativity world that I had, and really spend time on it because we had time,
Yeah.
to really reflect and do things that being on the road, I can't bring a bunch of magazines and buckets of all this stuff. So that was pretty cool. And then I did have an injury, which was a very hard journey. And I'm coming out of it. It's still affecting me, but I've had a great support team around me that has been helping me through it. And it also kind of opened a realm of creating music electronically, and
Awesome.
creating music for. I started this project in writing music for a documentary.
That's awesome.
So yeah, like it's a humanitarian documentary, and the woman is in Lebanon, and so it's also cool because like I'm writing like music for a film that is based in Lebanon. When would you be able to connect with somebody so far away? And so I've learned kind of to do all that, and that has been something new that I definitely would not have been able to experience if it wasn't for this time. So those are
Congratulations from coming from your injury and coming this far and taking a good positive angle at it and doing something different. And so,
yeah. It's
yeah,
still got a long way to go, but
still, yeah,
come a long way. So
I wish you all in recovery and hope you,
yes,
you know, get back to where you were. And
thank you.
so, yeah, and you guys are from Philadelphia area, like I said. And tell us a little bit about your musical background. Like, how did you guys kind of like mesh together? And yeah, what scenes did you kind of go through before you kind of met up and like decided that this was going to blend into a
Mhm.
combination of
Yeah.
awesome sounds?
Well, I had been doing music for a while. Started doing music in Philadelphia, kind of like cut my teeth in Philadelphia. I had been performing in a band before this, and Christine had happened to come to a show. We didn't meet at the show, but months later we ran into each other randomly at a grocery store, and like,
Oh wow, that's hilarious.
yeah, very random, very random.
Yeah, I like it.
And
Yeah.
and she had told me she saw the show and like she dug the vibe of the music and lyrics, and she's like, if you ever need a harpist, I'm available. And so, I mean, that never even crossed my mind ever, a harp, with hip hop. But I was like, wow, what would that sound like? So I guess like a couple months went by. I reached out to her. I sent her some music. She like improved over the music and sent it back. And it sounded amazing. So I invited her to the studio, and we recorded an album within like 3 months.
Yeah. Cool.
Wow, that's quick.
Yeah, and
That's
that was
good.
my first album, and we've just been on the road and recording since.
Mm-hmm.
So when was that? Was that like 2018 kind
Yep,
of?
Mm-hmm.
2018.
Wow. So like the summer or like
We
With
met in 2017, and then we started the album in the beginning of
Yeah, and we put
2018.
it out in like June of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
awesome because I think I played with you guys in August
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
in Montreal, so that was pretty fresh.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
like
Yeah.
fresh,
That was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
which is
Awesome.
crazy.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, we hit the road quick.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. Good for you.
I was working full time as a music therapist, and then we were like, all right, let's do some shows for the summer. And then it just hit the ground and we were traveling and in it. So there was like, all right, we gotta keep doing this and
Higher grounds for sure.
bring it on the road. So
Nice. Yeah, it was good times, seeing you guys play at the Painted Lady, because it's like Painted Lady's like, my one of my home bases.
Yeah, for sure.
I met these guys on the road. We did a show on the road together, and they're not even from there too. And it was like,
yeah, for
we all got
real.
linked up in one show. It was all good.
Yeah.
I kind of like, I don't know. I want to keep some sort of bridge together with this, and just, I don't know what's coming out of this. I have no idea, really, no freaking idea. But at least if we can kind of like, keep in touch like this and just see what's going on with each other, and, and just bounce ideas off each other and see, I don't know how we can adapt, because, it's not really going to stop what we do. We're still going to make.
For sure. And it's important to stay connected and keep building. Very important.
I appreciate you guys coming on the show and sharing and, keep inspiring. And
Indeed.
I was listening again to your album again today, and it's great. So
thank you.
I can't wait for the next one. Let's plug some more stuff here. So like in a month or so, these guys are coming out with another album. Was the title?
Community.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And the single coming out is called Real Love.
Nice. Right, just after my 42nd birthday. This is
there you go.
a birthday present. Yeah.
Word.
Well, I'm enjoying a lot of this like connection technology stuff, because it's helping me broaden my kind of boxed in scenario of recording and collaborating and stuff like that. So I've hooked up with a younger producer in Ohio. He's like 22 years old, does a podcast every day, just makes beats.
Nice.
Cool.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And, so he's just been throwing me beats all day, every day, and just kind of keeping me writing and just like active and just so I have a show on Sunday that I can kind of be doing the same kind of scenario, but I'm shooting the shit with my buddy Paul in Edmonton, and he's a drummer, and we're just showcasing artists, and I'm kind of gonna start honing it more towards like rapping, and I just want to keep it kind of like fresh, and I want to keep it loose. So I'm inviting MCs to come drop in whenever they want, and I think we're just gonna do some freestyle stuff, or just like we've handed each other some beats. Ooh, that's a good idea. We can just like beat exchange or something.
There you go.
And then just do like a little freestyle. So anytime you're welcome to come in, you guys, and chat. And I really appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And your viewership and everybody that follows you guys. So anything you guys like to add? I got Maggie hanging by here, and we'll get her in soon.
There's one thing. We have a pretty cool event coming up. It's called Beds and Brushes JA, and it's a virtual festival, but all the performers are live. And it's awesome because most of the proceeds for the ticket go straight to the community in Jamaica. And so that's going to be April 24th. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited for that.
We'll have all the information on our website or on our Instagram profiles.
There we go. We got the IG. And cue it. Take two. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, and it's great to see you and chat with you, and see you in 2D. It's the best
for sure
right now until we get the virtual glasses and the chip and all that stuff. So
Cool. We'll
That's
keep doing it.
that's a
Yeah.
few paychecks away. I can't do that yet.
And hopefully we'll see you soon in
Yeah.
real life.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And look out for these guys, KufKnotzChristineElise and KristineElise. Awesome duo from Philadelphia and New Jersey. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you
Thank
sharing
you.
tonight. And
Good night.
peace, guys. Stay focused.
Indeed.
Thank you. Awesome. That was KufKnotzChristineElise and KristineElise. Those are buddies of mine from the States. And I met them in Montreal. We did this really cool art show. And met my buddy, Leah Keeley. And she is a performer out of Montreal. She's from Stratford. And you can find her on all streaming platforms. I'm just going to throw this little video teaser in of a song that her and I did on the new album. This album, mine, AM Grinding. And here's just a little teaser.
Slow stance, stop short on the deal. Bad instinct, should've listened to the feels. Deep in my gut, wasn't feeling legit, but I had to make moves, never stop, quit. Focus, independent, shining. Pre-internet, hustler, mag, hiding, greasy, grinding, tedious.
Hard out. I didn't know if the video was crackling there, but we're going through the process here because this is a one-man show, folks. This is you get what you pay for. This is this is Focus Podcast number 20, pretty much. Been carrying on from my previous podcast a couple of years ago, and now we're just incorporating solo musicians from all around the world and my hometown here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So earlier we had KufKnotzChristineElise and KristineElise. You can check them out on all platforms. Let's see. Let's get the caption in here. You can get them on KufKnotzChristineElise Bandcamp.com. And remember, I believe May 7th is the next Bandcamp Friday, where the 15% fee is waived for all artists. So if you know anybody who's got music out, go and buy it because they get 100% of the proceeds. And then you guys can check these guys out on their Instagram. Take a second to absorb that. And all the information is on KufKnotz.com. Amazing artists, amazing duo. One thing we didn't touch on that KufKnotzChristineElise actually opened up for Mos Def a month after I saw him play in Toronto. So I was pretty blown away and just in awe that he got to, play with one of my number one artist heroes. We're going to feature another artist tonight, and she is from Toronto here, plays out of Toronto, and we're going to bring her to the show, and her name is Maggie Rae. So let's bring in Maggie. Hey, Maggie.
Hello.
And it worked right off the bat. I think I'm getting better at this split screen stuff. This is slow improvements.
Very
So how's it
seamless
going?
Transition.
Yeah. No.
It's going okay.
Yeah.
I caught the end of KufKnotzChristineElise and KristineElise. They are so awesome, and I will check out Buds and Brushes JA.
Yeah, they're pretty an unbelievable duo. They'll put you in a trance there live. It's pretty it's pretty soothing. It's like as much as you can get close to doing yoga, like listening to yoga,
For
really.
your ears.
Yeah, yoga for your ears and just like and your conscience and your soul. It just kind of takes you on a journey. And I got to see them live here in Toronto once and in Montreal. That was fun. We had so much planned, but whatever. Blah blah blah. Anyways, I got to see you in a unique environment a few months ago. Was actually at a venue,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was like a little bit of pause, you'd say, in between, and the lenience of closing places down completely, and you got to play there. So just give us a little intro about yourself, like where you're from, and like give us a throw of your new album, and just tell us about that one gig that we had a little while ago.
The one and only gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my name is Maggie Ray.
Oh, sorry, Meg, your mic's kind of buggy. It's
Oh,
a
is
little,
it?
yeah.
Can you hear me?
No, it's just like kind of like interfering. There's something interfering with it. Maybe just turn the console on and off or something, or
Hello.
yeah, it's kind of wacky.
Is that a little better?
No.
I have the exact same thing. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, that's muted. Is this better?
No.
Sorry.
No worries. You can play your guitar. Just see if
Is
it's
that better?
I don't know if it's the mic or the.
I have the guitar muted.
You hearing that?
I don't hear anything. I just hear.
Hold on one sec. I'll mute you for a second and then play again.
Hello?
It's weird. It's all scratchy.
Okay, let me try something. I'm just going to exit it here. How's
Maybe
this?
No, it's not good. Maybe restart the your audio console. Ooh.
Okay, how's this?
Ooh.
No?
Still bad. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So weird. I'm so sorry. This
No worries. Maybe
Okay, 1 second.
Okay. I have one other idea. If
Okay, how's that? Can you hear me?
it's the same.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
No. I was using the other mic yesterday, but I actually thought it would come through better on the shirt. And I don't know.
Maybe just change the mic quickly to see if it's the mic, and if not, then it'll be on the console or something. I don't know. I wonder. Give Maggie a second here. Yeah, I know. This is all new stuff for us. We're just trying it out, you know. This is how it goes sometimes. So yeah, you can check Maggie's stuff out if you want on Bandcamp. She's just released the first album, and it's fantastic. It's really great. You can check it out, and then you can check her out on Instagram as well, Maggie Ray Music. And we're just switching something up here. A little bit of technical thing, but we're just gonna stick with it and change it up. See what's going on here. Try this.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not sure.
Oh no.
Um,
I don't know what's happening.
turned off the mixer, right?
Is that better?
No, it's still some sort of interference.
Do you think it's through my guitar pedals?
It might be. No, because it's going through your mic too.
Because I don't hear it.
Really? It might be the connection that I'm getting from you. So maybe just like I'll log you out here and then just maybe, I don't know, turn your stuff off and then try coming back in.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
It's
sorry,
okay. No, it's no worries. This is how it goes sometimes. So here, we'll just try this. Give it a reboot just for a second. So Maggie's just checking something out here. But yeah, you can check. Our first guest was KufKnotzChristineElise and ChristineElise. They have a new album that's coming out probably in 2-3 weeks. They're saying, and it's brand new music, so you got to check it out. These guys are amazing, unbelievable duo, hip hop rapper, harpist duo, and that's their Bandcamp handle. That's their Instagram handles too. And yeah, focus here live in my living room. So I'm gonna play a track of my own, and while I'm waiting for Maggie, and this is a song called Relaunch. Or waiting for Maggie. You know what? This is my issue. I have to do something. I apologize to Maggie because this is my issue and the viewers. I made this mistake. There we go. I think everything's fine now. I screwed that up. Let's see. I think it's my end. So, let me see if I can get a hold of Maggie. We'll get her back in. There we go. And let's just turn this down. And I think it's...
Do you think it's fixed?
Hey, Maggie.
Is it fixed?
Yeah, you know what? I think it was me. I apologize.
Okay.
You know what? This Focusrite, I've been, giving it so many. Here, let's bring Maggie in. Here's Maggie. Say hi, Maggie. Sorry,
Hello.
everybody. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. That's me. That's my second technical food today. So this Focusrite, I've been praising it all day and all week, and I think it's been, doing some buggy thing a little here and there. And what it did was it was confusing. Secondary that was messing me up. and I wasn't hearing anything from my computer because I wasn't playing anything. So I couldn't test it to tell, right? And then so as soon as you went off, I played some of my music back, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's from my computer. So I apologize so much.
That's okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're working, and bear with me. Sometimes it's finicky, and so we'll just get. Sometimes it is. There we go. Did it. Thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here. We're doing it.
It's Friday night.
Yeah.
Relax. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I'm finished my coffee, but I'll roll something up soon and have a break later. But thanks for joining. It's almost right on the hour. And yeah, so you caught a little bit of our last group, and yeah, they're a real cool duo. Yeah, so explain. We were just explaining yourself and where you're from and what you've just released.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, so my name's Maggie Ray, and thank you so much for having me here. I moved to Toronto about 5 years.
Sorry, Maggie, you want to get closer to your mic
Sorry,
there?
I moved.
There. Thank you. Sorry, I just want to.
I'm not used to like talking.
It's all good. I'm technical. I'm very technical, so it's like I've done it for 20 years, so that's all I'm looking at. It's like I'll watch stuff on TV and I'm like, that background needs to change. It's
Yeah.
like-
Well, and like generally, right now I feel like I'm having a conversation with you, so I'm not focused on the microphone as much, but I will try to focus and speak into the microphone.
Thanks. Or you could maybe, I don't know. You want to change that other mic back, whatever's convenient for you. I think it was
I think as
screwed
long
up
as
on my end.
it's okay. As long as it's like the volume is okay, then
That's perfect.
we're
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Cool.
Um,
So sorry, another interruption.
yeah.
I interrupted like 10 times now.
It's okay. So yeah, I've lived in Toronto for about 6 years, and I started, I guess, performing music um, a year or two after moving here. I always was interested in playing and writing and um, just expressing myself in that way, but when I moved to Toronto, I just was around all of my friends who were musicians and just ended up in the open mic scene. And so now I am really happy because I was so supported by this community that I was able to finish recording an EP last year, actually during all of the pandemic lockdowns and whatnot. I did an EP, collaborated with an awesome musician and budding producer, Alex Purcell. And yeah, so we did that all virtually. Like we would just send each other back the track and make notes and add things, and so he produced it all, and I just released it on April 3rd, and I'm really proud of it. It's called the Late Bloomer EP, and it's just 4 songs.
I think this is the cover, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's it. It's a collection of 4 songs that are really just songs that sorry.
Say what's up.
Anyways.
Yo.
So anyways, the songs are songs that I wrote in the last couple of years, just inspired by different experiences and relationships in my life. And I'm really proud of the EP. It's kind of just different, and I don't exactly know how to describe my music. Um, so yeah, I would just love for people to hear it and see if they vibe with it. I really am just putting it out there because I enjoy making it, and I had a lot of fun just trying different things and being a little weird and you know. So, yeah.
So was this like that kind of like concludes one of my other questions is like, what have you done during the pandemic? And that's like finish an EP. That's a so was like a lot of the, I know with myself as a writer, a lot of the ideas are kind of preconceived a while back. So like how much of the pre-production went into this prior to the pandemic, or was it all like done during the pandemic? Did you have like ideas already, or kind of like stuff kind of written a little bit, and then
Yeah.
this kind of like gave you an opportunity to really get that done? Is that kind of a perspective of the time off of like
Kind
you would have
of,
got it
yes
done
and no.
regardless, I guess, right?
Well, maybe not. I'm not sure because before this, I was working on another EP with my drummer, the drummer in my band,
Gotcha.
Mark Villamore, and we were doing that together, like at my place. Like we would get together and like actually play things out. Um, and so we already had worked on a number of songs, and we were, planning on playing shows. Like we had got together for practice in February. I remember that, and then, of course, everything shut down, and then shortly after that, Alex had reached out and said, I'm looking to produce some friends' music, and would you be interested? And I said, of course. And so we did. The first song we did was actually Seven. It's on the EP, but um, when it came out, it just struck me more as like a B-side kind of vibe. Um, but that was the first song. And then I was like, yeah, let's do an EP. And it was, the pandemic, we did the first song virtually that way. So I was like, why not do a few more? And um, yeah, so I don't know if I would have been focusing on a second EP with a different producer if I hadn't have been kind of shut down from working with my band. So, yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of become the lockdown and like isolation. It's almost become a workshop for solo artists to really thrive and kind of go that way. And it's really tough for a band, I guess, to do what they need to do, and even get together and even, do stuff online together. So, so you released another EP. So do you, where do you see like, oh, sorry. I remember I asked you at the beginning before all my technical difficulties. You played a show, right? Like I saw you and Evan play a show on College Street, and I can't remember when it was. I think it was the summer. I want to say it was like July or August.
No, it was September.
It was. Oh yeah, the summer was over. So
I will
what was
not
that
forget
like?
this.
And yeah, and sorry, prior to that, I guess you hadn't played a show since everything shut down, right? Like
No, nothing like not streaming from my home.
yeah, like in where you left your living room. It's like,
Yeah, I hadn't played anything since I guess it was February, yeah, because we played played in the middle of February. So yeah. Okay, so we played this show in September, and it was put on by Music City North, and they were booking certain venues that were following COVID guidelines because during this time, the only way live music was happening was behind like a shield, like a plexiglass shield. Like you couldn't have performers unless they were behind that.
Yeah, it's a painted
Um,
lady had like this one hanging kind of thing.
yeah, and that was what it was in Toronto, right? So, um, they said, okay, do you want to do this? And I was like, it sounds kind of risky and weird. But I was like, it sounds like also fun. And like, I would, love to just do that. And like you said, Evan was going to be on the bill as well. So it was, us two and one other person. So, anyways, it was the setup. It was a typical Toronto bar that's kind of long and narrow, right? So each booth had plexiglass, and then the performance area was also plexiglass protected.
It looked like a DJ booth with
It was like a DJ
sneeze
booth.
guard all around. It was
That's
like
literally a good description of exactly what it looked like. And yeah, I looking back, I'm like, I don't know if I would have done it, but anyways, I did it. A few people came out. Everybody obviously had to wear masks, except when we were at the table. It was very interesting.
yeah, because I came and it was just like sat down and you could take it off. Kind of, it wasn't monitored.
Yeah,
But I think that was still
the rule. I think at that time, like
that was the rule, and that was the compliance rule. That was like still in the early stages of not figuring it out. And
well, I think it was not the stages of not figuring it out. I think it was the stages of everyone just wanted the economy back, and
yeah, that's a better
like
analogy.
they were just doing the most extent to
make it work.
Yeah, like if the limit is 2 meters, it was 2 meters. You know what I mean? Like as far as anyone could push it, that's what we've been doing this whole time, right? Like you just go right to the limit of what the restrictions are. And anyways,
in fairness to the venue, in fairness to the venues, I knew it's like flip flopping all the time because they're like, this is the restrictions and this is the restrictions and this is the restrictions, and then so it's like, where do we?
People don't have enough aid, so they need to make their money, right?
No,
like,
exactly.
It's a really tough situation. So no judgment anywhere. I'm just saying it was a strange situation to be in as a performer as well, because often when you perform, like you're connecting with the people that are standing there, and really it wasn't like that, and you could barely see because there's glares on all this plexiglass, and you couldn't really go up to people. It wasn't responsible or intended for you to go table to table and visit all the people that came to see you.
Yeah,
it also feels weird because you're like, thanks for coming, bye.
Yeah.
It was just so weird.
Wash your hands. Yeah.
Like feeling like you want to replicate an experience, but it's just not
the same.
Yeah. Anyway,
I know. And it's
grateful. I'm so grateful that
that's what I was gonna say too. It's like I know we're not gonna do this for a long time again, so I'll take what I can. I guess that's why you did the gig. And it's like, if you had a little more certainty of okay, if this is only a couple months, then maybe we would have said no, but you never know when you're going to get that again, ever again in a while. So it's like, yeah, the Painted Lady kind of did something under the radar in September, and it was the same thing. Like I went just for an open mic, and they had the big, huge plexiglass, and it works for someone like me because I'm usually a solo performer. You're just not jamming with anybody that you're used to,
Right.
and you're not, and there's nobody in front of you. Like you can hear and see people, but they're staggered out. And so, but it was nice actually just to step on the stage and do something. It was like I got a nice little rush that one night, and it was like, oh yeah, this is what it was like to play on a stage again. And then after we convinced the bar to do the live thing, it was nice to play a show that we set up, and it was weird. It was super duper weird because it felt like a rehearsal. Like it felt like a live TV show rehearsal. But the people that I work with were used to that. I've done that for like a few years, so it was just like I was playing to a few of my friends and we were recording it. So that's the closest I got and being on stage in an entire year now. And yeah, I had a nice little role before all that came to a screeching halt. And
Yeah.
but
I
you
feel
got
like
to
you were always playing shows, so it was probably just like a shocker to your system.
yeah, and it wasn't 100% because it was like I went to Seattle and Portland in January, like a couple of months before that. And the guy I was traveling with, Paul, he was supposed to go to China, and something didn't work out for the embassy in Alberta for him, and he couldn't go. So he came up to Seattle and Portland with me. And the whole time he's there, he's just like on his phone. He's like, do you know what's going on in China? He's like, this is fucking virus outbreaking 10 times worse than SARS ever was, and locking cities down. And he's like, show me this footage. And it's like a city of 11 million people being locked down. And it's like, I can't even fathom it. It's not even registering. It's not even like computing in my head to be like, that's kind of fucking crazy. That's insane to have like that compliance as well. To
Like
just
at that
like,
time, that's what you were thinking at that time?
yeah, well, it was like, it's weird to say it because it's like if you see so much stuff in the news, you're just kind of like desensitized to a lot of stuff where you're just, it doesn't
you
come
just take
reality
bad
like,
news and you're like,
until it comes into your hometown, I guess, whatever. And so the whole time we were there, he's like, yeah, this is gonna come here, he's like, you realize that this pretty soon this is gonna come here. And you're like, yeah, but nothing prepares you for anything like that. Of what, I literally came back from the road. It was like a couple of shows in Montreal and Ottawa, and the next day I had one hockey game, and the next day it was done. Like everything shut down. I was like, what the fuck? But I don't know. It's I think we're in it's just a weird limbo situation right now. But I'm glad we have, outlets like this to do stuff and connect and play music, and the technology is kind of making it easier to share music and do live performances and stuff like this. And do you want to share some live performance with us, or are you gonna chat some
I would
more or
love
play
to.
later? Or, yeah, you want to share some new tunes?
Whatever you think we should do.
All right. I think we can play. But yeah, we can check all your stuff. Oh, and let's plug it again, because this Friday, or the next Friday in May, the first Friday in May 7th is the next band camp Friday, and that's, you can go and buy Maggie's album, and it's fantastic. And
I also
I got
have a couple t-shirts on there.
Oh, you do? You're selling shirts as well.
I got t-shirts.
Nice. Just in time for spring. That's
Yeah.
great. I got a hat. I put it on that platform a while ago. I just got to kind of revamp my stuff and
Yeah, I actually released the EP on a Bandcamp Friday.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I would love to play a tune if this all sounds right.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
sing into the mic.
Yeah. All right, we got Maggie Ray here.
Check it a check. I got a creaky chair.
It's kind of like it's funny. It's like the same chair
I'm
that you're
actually
sitting
on the same chair.
I was gonna ask you, but it's just like I'll let the viewers figure that out. It's a little mystery we got going there. That's cool. I like that. That's continuity right there, folks. This consistency for Maggie, you're gonna get pure consistency, folks. Here.
I forgot. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay. Well, I'd love to play a song off of the EP, and this is the first track on the EP. It's called Dropped, and I'd love to tell you the story about it after I play it. Love for you to hear it first.
Love it.
Sunrise. Coming up. Been a long night. Fueled by an unknown substance. That's it.
Nice. Can you turn your mic up a little more? Is that
A little
possible?
more, yeah.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't want to turn the
No
gain
worries.
up too much, but
No,
it's
no.
hard to get right in there.
It's all good. No worries. We're this is
A little
a
quiet.
it's all good. This is all a work in progress. You know, it's all good. I got my things.
This is to my first official podcast.
Oh
This is
yeah,
a podcast, right?
yeah. This is a
Okay.
podcast. This is the new improved one.
Is this gonna be like on Spotify?
No, I think eventually I will. I think I can repurpose them onto Spotify, and if that's the case, I'm gonna repurpose all of them. This is the 20th one, and the first 15 were just audio. We just kind of sat down and shoot the shit with just a little Zoom recorder with 2 mics, and then I kind of revamped it with this program. End of March there, March 19th. So it's been basically a month now. So there's been
Okay.
5 episodes now of video content with the broadcast now, and I've incorporated 2 people instead of 1 now. And one, I think a couple weeks ago, we just had the 1 artist. So if there's just 1 artist, I perform, and if there's 2 artists, there's usually enough time to kind of fill a couple hours. And Evan and I, we chat for hours and hours. We had like a almost 3-hour portion of the show. But it was good. I like that.
I was tuned in.
That was fun. Do you want to tell us the story about that, or do you want to play some more songs and maybe tell us the story and get back to a song? You dictate the flow here. What you?
Yeah. So that song, it's one of those stories that it's not funny until many years later.
That's life. That's life, really.
Because it's so whatever it is, troubling or anyways. But so I laugh now at my age. But it's basically a story where I, in my younger days, was not super reserved about trying new things. And I was, with somebody that we were agreed to try something together. And so, went off and did that and come to find out the other person didn't actually do theirs. So then I did not sleep for 2 nights at all. And
Sunrise.
Rode this ride by myself. So I mean, without being too explicit on the live, because you never know who's tuning in.
Exactly.
But,
we're going live, folks.
It was an experience that definitely I'll never forget, and I think I got a pretty cool song out of. So at this point, I'm looking back and it's all good, but it was totally, really kind of scary, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's a great perspective as a perspective as a songwriter too, because I guess that's where the some of the best songs come from, are those experiences, and that you can turn that experience into a song. It's even better. So yeah, and to have something you can listen to and reflect back on it and be like, oh, okay, I can look at it from a different perspective now, and glad you got through it and used it as, something that we can all enjoy. And that's a great song. I really like that. It's just, it reminds me of this song Gamma Ray have too, it's just kind of like easing into the sunset, just like relaxing, just chilling.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to hear it live, but we'll talk about that another time. But
Yeah.
we'll figure out some outdoor.
My band again.
We'll
That
figure
was
out some.
amazing.
We'll figure something out. Anyways, do you want to play another song? You wanna?
Sure. I'll try another
All right.
one. I might-
Cool. Let me get you in full screen here, and hopefully I can get us back into the split.
All right. Here is another song off the EP. You wasted your youth. You wasted your youth. Let's see that see you trying to be all that you need, all that you needed is wasted. You waited on you. To see that you are trying to be all that you need, all that you needed. Looking for the truth. When you were young, looking for the truth. They tried to break you. They tried. We waited. As a wasted That's
Love
kind
it.
of how it ends here.
That's great. That's so melodic. I love it. It's just the right amount of chill.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, so what's cooking in the lyric book? Are you like still writing songs, or are you kind of taking a break from production, or like what's your day-to-day
My
musical stuff? Are you taking a break from it, or are you kind of like trying other
Ye-
things, or
Yeah, right now I'm not really like actively working on a project the way that I was with the late bloomer.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, now it's like about getting it out there. Your EP that you got done, you kind of just,
yes. Well,
doing
now it's
that.
kind of like I can kind of just kind of move on, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
it's great.
it's when you have, when you work on a project for so long, I mean, for me anyways, I felt like just putting it out in a public way would finish my part of it, and then I could just move on to my next beginning of a new creative endeavor. So, yeah, right now I don't know exactly what's next. I do have the other EP that I do intend to finish. Um, that's there. And then right now I'm I just kind of um I am writing here and there. I participated in a creative challenge this week, which was fun. So I like doing things like that, like on,
What does that
social
entail? What
media.
is that kind of like doing something every day? Like just
Yeah.
gotcha.
So the challenge right now, I joined it last year, and actually two of the songs, including the one you just heard, were written during this challenge last year.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
that ended up on the EP. So it's a challenge that my friend Sal, you know Sal, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, she put it on, and basically she just posts a photo, which is through this website called Unsplash, where photographers, and I think it's mostly photographers, put their photos up,
Yeah.
and you could use them. And so she posted up, and then we're supposed to use about an hour to create something. It can be a poem, a song, whatever you is your medium. And so yeah, I've been doing that this week. Again, it's kind of the next annual one. So
So it's
things like
not
that are really fun for me.
like specifically for songwriting. It's just writing. It's like in what your
Yes,
your
but mostly
expertise
it's
of writing
songwriters
is.
that are doing
Gotcha.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
most of like the friends that are around are involved in music one way or another. Some people are doing really cool, like producing. I don't know what they're using. Like I know Sal said she was using GarageBand on her phone. So I actually did the same thing yesterday. I just used GarageBand on my iPhone and recorded it all and produced it all on there, just to see, like how it would turn out. And because there's no real pressure when you do this kind of challenge, especially with like really supportive people. Um, they Everyone is so encouraging, so you can just try something, and it's not a big deal,
There's no different with your phone now. It's just easier layout with your laptop. There's so much stuff you can do with your phone now.
Oh
It's
yeah.
crazy. I even because I pay for Adobe Premiere, right? The editing program. And I didn't know that I already have an option. I paid for it that I can put on my phone too. So I'm gonna upload it on my phone, and then I can go to the park and edit some videos and just
Yeah.
send on my phone. Yeah, it's. I want so this is like now I'm kind of like my mind's getting into modern questions now of of like social media and kind of like getting your songs out there and stuff like that. Is this new stuff for you? It's all new for me every day because there's something new hitting me. Like this is how you can put your music here and put your music there and put it in a different art form here and put it on this platform. Is this new for you, like the streaming service? You've done it before, or is this like something you're learning as you're going, and you find you have like a strong suit to coincide with your music to kind of start, because there's so much to branch out with your music,
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's a funny question for me because I'm not super focused on just getting my music out there. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I
Like
hear what you mean.
so
Yeah.
yes, the streaming services is quite new. I only just put songs on there at the end of last year when I was preparing for these EPs to come out.
Gotcha.
And now, of course, the EP is everywhere, so you can stream it. I wanted to do that because I felt like it would be a fun and easy way to actually share it with family and friends. Not that I don't believe, all my extended family would buy my album on Bandcamp, but
Right here.
for some people, Spotify or Apple Music or whatever they're using is more accessible. And yeah, I mean, I felt like it would, again, just kind of putting it in that type of public realm would mean that that's it, that this is it.
It's out there. Yeah.
It's out there, and it's like not something I would be able to change. Of course you can, but for me it was the feeling of being able to actually just let it go out into that space and kind of it's done. Like it's
Yeah,
not,
it feels good. Yeah.
So that's part of why I'm on there. And when I say I'm not very like focused on kind of, I guess, promoting myself or my music is, I guess I don't really have clear goals, or I don't have huge goals in music, which is kind of strange to say, but I have a lot of interests, and right now I do work that I intend to stay committed to for the next while anyways. So I'm not one of those people who's just everything they want inside of them is to be a musician. You know what I mean? Like I am a musician. I do.
You
I
are.
create
You
music.
already
I
are.
am a
You're just,
musician, so
everything else is just is
I guess I mean a
sprinkles on
professional
top. Everything. Well,
musician.
it's
A
being
paid
everything.
musician.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Somebody who only does music for their life. Like I don't
who can
think
earn a living off it. Who basically
Yeah.
like that's their only income is
Yes.
really kind of
and like that's their whole
which
life.
is next to fucking impossible as a Canadian musician
Well,
for a few.
that and for certain people even harder. But so I'm just being very honest. I really share my music because I like doing it, and it's a way for me to express myself that I really enjoy. And I've always loved to sing. I always wanted to just sing, and that's it. Like and to be able to share it with people is super fun, and I love that too. It's just I'm not striving for anything that I could really tell you that I'm striving for. I'm not looking for that number one Billboard top spot. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean like it's a self-satisfaction thing anyways, where that's the value of it there. You know what I mean? So you can't replace that with $1 or like $1 achievement. It's like you did something, you made something from nothing. You did it the way you wanted it to do it, and it turned out, and you, like you said, you accomplished something, right? So that's the value in it alone. And it's like you wouldn't do it, you wouldn't push your heart out to fine tune it if you didn't really love it. It's a lot of hard work to put an album together. People don't realize how much enthusiasm you put yourself into it, because it's like
Yeah.
you go through one part of it and you're excited, and then it's like, I got to finish this, but I also want to finish it with the same amount of excitement as that when I started it too. Yeah, and it's, it's a good thing to accomplish that, and then move on. You know what I mean? It's more satisfying to know, to look back and like, I did that. And it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, all the other stuff's kind of just like, I guess I'm just throwing that question out there to everybody because, some people, it is their profession, and now they really have to fine tune it up, and it's like everything's changed and shifted because there's no touring. So it's like, what are you doing? And like someone like myself, where it's like, I've been part of this world for more than 15 years, right? And I've been behind the camera from the most of the 15 years and making a really good living, and it allowed me to do a lot of the stuff that I've done with music. Allowed me to travel, do a lot of touring.
Right.
But that all went away like instantaneously. But it's not like I'm doomed or anything. It's just like, take the love and the passion I've had for the music, which has been the constant for 20 years. Like, this is the years I put in. That's been the constant throughout everything, no matter like throughout having a job, throughout losing it, throughout like doing the biggest things and then being broke the next year. It's like music has been the constant that's just getting me in and out of situations where my life's better, and it like leads me to things that I enjoy, you know what I mean? So as long as I'm just putting all my heart into the music, and something I enjoy and really love doing, it's just like everything else is just going to kind of like work itself out around it, And
Yeah, I agree.
as far as like making a living off of whatever and stuff like that, it's like you'll get by as long as you're putting all your love into that, you know what I mean? No matter what it is on the side or whatever, it's gonna enrich your life to just be like, all right, okay, I can do that. But it's, I like this. This is it's kind of like a way to stay connected, really. Like I was saying to KufKnotzChristineElise and Christine, like, it's an imaginary way to kind of like have some sort of tour thing going on, and just get to kind of like, because this time of year you're starting to tour. Like, this is when you get out there, and it's like, I'm ready to make my 4th album, and it's like, you get what you have, a couple of songs, and you take it on a tour and you start working it out. And it's just like, there's no medium to work stuff out anymore. So it's like, I find maybe we can have a platform like
the
this
online space, I guess.
We can do this, and this is really the only way to kind of like, unless you practice at home, right? It's like, this is the only engagement really kind of that we're going to get close to doing shows. So, what do you like? Because I ask everybody this too. It's like, what do you see coming out of this, and like, when do you think we can do shows? And like, not only shows, but like, what do you see venues looking like in the future? It's like,
Great question. Well, I've been seeing everyone's got shows in September, so I guess COVID's over in September.
It's marked on my calendar.
Have you seen that though? Like, all
I've
these
heard
big artists
a
have
lot.
tours. They're booking tours.
Everything's being booked, and I'm sure there's a lot of insurance behind it too. But also, people I know, they're getting called to do a lot of small venues that we play at usually. And I heard things like the Horseshoe and other things and stuff like that. So everybody's gearing up.
Everyone thinks that the vaccine will save us all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's the case,
Hope so.
what is it? Is it going to be a vaccine card party only? You can only come in if you have vaccine?
I think it's going to be that from the big down to the little. Like where I work, the Scotiabank Center, I think it's going to start with places like that. And I heard, this is what
Is
I heard
that
on the radio.
legal?
Well, this is what I heard on the radio. What it's going to be is like you get a ticket and you have to check in with the ticket. And if you're clear for a test, then your ticket clears. And if not, your ticket doesn't work. So
you pay for the ticket?
I don't know. I think there's a refund. There'd have to be a refund.
Yeah.
Because then there'd just be like throwing chairs through the arenas.
Right.
But that's just Vancouver. Sorry. That only happens in Vancouver. So when Guns N' Roses cancels the show. Look that up on the YouTube, kids. That's Guns N' Roses cancels show in Vancouver. Anyways, I think, I don't know, man, because everything's money driven, right? Like you said,
100%.
like, is that going to slow down everything? Because I've been working at those sports arenas for 15 years and I've seen the progress of like lax nothing. I remember being a kid going to the Skydome and sneaking a Mickey in and drinking fucking from, mixing Coke and stuff like that. And now you can, Coca-Cola kids don't. I've never done that shit. You can't even get in now. It's like body like a scanner and you have to empty your pockets out. And now it's going to be like what? COVID test or whatever. But
I don't think they will, because honestly, think about it.
It'll slow things down so much. Like
when last year we were still in a pandemic and what did we have? So I think they're going to make it look as much as like it used to look before COVID as fast as they can. I honestly, I wish more people in our world were down for real change in our society, because I think honestly COVID was, or it should be, maybe it's going to go on until it is a huge wake up call for our society. But I think everyone's just striving to get back to whatever we had before. And I think
I don't want that.
Not what it's all about. I think it can be about something else.
I agree.
So anyways, I think, and I believe we are probably headed towards, whatever we had before, with maybe a vaccine carding system, maybe maybe like a capacity limit, maybe mandatory seating where you have to sit down in the venue. I don't know. Or
it's like Nexus, Nexus, when you clear the border, you just you're just quicker,
Yeah.
It's just inconvenience. Like, I think everything comes down to who has to wait longer or who has the better seat or the front seat. It's like, I think money will still dictate stuff at the end of the day. And it's like, what gets you clearance? Like, like you're already checked out. So go ahead, go through the line.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. It's very interesting because venues really have just been done. And so maybe everyone who's involved in that type of management has had a long time to think about these things. Maybe they've had really creative ideas come out of the time where they just haven't been able to operate. So I'm hopeful for that. I mean, maybe they create some new kind of experience where we never even saw it coming. I don't know.
Hope something, but it's like, I did it. I worked in a world where it was like, that's not going to happen for me anymore. Because it's like, I did a wireless camera and I'm like on the floor with the Toronto Raptors and like the NHL players. And it's just like, I don't think I'll be able to get that close again, to the talent to, you know, like they're not gonna risk anything like that with
Aren't
somebody
they
working
playing
in the
games?
hallway. They are, but a lot of it's scaled back. Like it's not. I was part of more of the in-house production, so there's no fans. There's no need for us really, and
Oh,
so what you see on TV is kind of like a scaled back version. Usually they provide like 2 or 3 trucks for the visitor, for the home, and then like a national broadcast. Now they're just doing it all with one feed. So it's like more robotic stuff introduced and kind of like more of a scaled down crew, which is where everything's going with television. Like, look what I'm able to do, right? This is a $40 a
yeah,
month
true.
program. And this is like, you know, there's a little tweaks that can be happened with this. And like I can have a couple more people operate and I can hook it up to OBS and we could do multi-camera and stuff like that. But it's just this is basically like a whole control room. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's the same platform that you'd see on TV. You know what I mean? Where people are in a building downtown somewhere paying a lot of money to rent, and then they have to pay everybody in the crew top rates. And like a lot of the people I work with work in this part of television, you know, and they see the money being spent every day, and it's like things like that are going to go away, I think. And I think eventually you're going to see stuff like this as the platform for entertainment, like YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that, where I think there's a lot of opportunity, like podcast 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So whoever got into podcast like 10 years ago and just did it, and most of the people who are good at it now 10 years later they just did it. They didn't just like, there was no manual of like, this is how to do a podcast and this is the successful way of doing podcasts. And now it's like people have just worked it out with the technology, and there's some good ones, you know. And I think that's what's going to come out with live streaming, with music and stuff like this, is that the people who are doing it now, you're going to see like 5-10 years down the line that this is going to be the new medium for, you know, getting our product across to bigger audiences and stuff like that. And there's huge potential of, you know, reaching unreachable audiences, like especially us as Canadian musicians. It's like, you know, you've driven across the country and it's so far, everything's so long, and it's like I remember touring
So far
a couple of years of Canada, and right before the shutdown, and everything is just so expensive and so far to get to. It's like, to go do a show in Montreal, it's like I gotta pay for a via train, and it's like 6 hours away, and then it's like that's the closest big city. And so it's like, to do stuff like this is it's not as authentic, obviously, as being in a venue, but there's so much more potential and reach.
Authentic. It's just that it's a different feeling
for
all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. Like, we're still us, and we're still being us and playing our music, but it's just like the connection of the audience and everybody in the room. Like, you can feel people's energy when you're there, right?
Yeah.
So it's just different. And when you like feel that like beat of a drum, or like the guitars, like, you know, sounding out, and those things that you just don't get from,
or that we take it. I think the one thing is like, not really, I didn't take for granted, you know, but it was always kind of like when I did shows and they, you know, and they turned out the way you wanted to, like a couple people showed up, but it's like, I would still rather be in that situation now where there's only like a few people, you know,
it'd be
just
fun.
enjoying it. Like, I remember we had one, a few of us a month before everything shut down. It was just kind of like we were all just watching each other's sets, and it was just kind of like enjoying that, being in a bar, venue type setting,
Just playing music with your friends.
just playing music. I think we might wrap this up soon, but do you want to play one more song to wrap us out, or do you want to, are you good at playing? Are you all played out? Or are you?
I could play one more.
It's up to you. I'm just
I could play us out.
All right. So we'll play as long as it takes, and then we'll just have a little wrap up, and we'll say goodnight. Awesome. Got Maggie Rae here. Get her album on Bandcamp. Please do. Especially on May 7th.
I knew I wanted to play the other two songs, but now I'm like, which song? I could do the one. Sorry. Okay.
I didn't mean to throw you off with like another request.
It's okay. It's okay.
So many good ones to choose from.
I enjoy playing, but I might just play it safe and just do a little cover that I love.
Sure, anything you want. Yeah.
Part of performing for me is like, because I've always loved to sing, I sing a lot of other people's songs, right?
Gotcha.
Because it's so fun.
Exactly.
So I like to do that too.
Noise.
Here's a little Friday night lullaby vibe.
Awesome.
I know places we can go, babe. I know places we can go, and the high won't fade here, babe. No, the high won't hurt here, babe. I know places we can go, babe. I know places we can go, and the high won't bring you down, babe. No, the high won't find you there, babe. Don't ask me when, but ask me why. Don't ask me how, but ask me when. There is a road, there is a way. There is a place, there is a place. I know places we can go, babe. Coming home, come unfold. The high won't bring Well, I won't find you there. So come now won't you I know places we can go, babe. Coming home, come unfold. I know places we can go, babe. Coming home, come unfold. I have no idea how that sounded, but my
That sounds
headphones
fantastic.
pretty much slipped off.
It sounded nice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for making those adjustments, and it really helped out a lot. It's
Okay, good. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
yes, for the listeners.
I'm gonna have to
Pleasure.
listen to this whole thing back.
Well, this is a huge trial and error thing with me because sometimes, like with this focus rate thing, and you, like I was telling you earlier about the mixer, it's sometimes what you're hearing in your headphones is not what's totally going to air. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
that's not the level sometimes. So it's like I have to play with that a lot where I had a few things go to air and it's like my instrumental is super loud over on my mic. So it's just like, okay, that worked that level that time. So it's just, you know, just
Yes.
to do it.
Ooh,
There,
wow.
that's kind of echoey.
Why is that so loud now?
I don't know. Is your pedal? Maybe you're.
I turned it
There you
down.
go.
There we go. I
There
was
we
like,
go.
I thought I turned the reverb down. What's happening here?
It's all good.
Sorry.
No worries. That's good. Gave it a nice ambiance at the end there. Was
Ooh.
nice.
Anyways.
So yeah, there's your Instagram handle. You can check out Maggie. And then go cop the album. Go
Please.
get it.
Or
Get it.
just
Buy
give
it.
it a listen. Tell me what you
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Love to know.
Anything you want to talk about? Anything that's on your mind? You know, COVID style, or whatever. Any
Honestly,
topic
I
there?
don't think you want to get me started
No.
because that will just get way too strongly felt feelings. Strong
What are you
feelings.
feeling? Let me know. Let it go.
Oh, I just can't deal with our government at this
I know.
point, and I just feel extremely helpless and angry, and
Me too.
I don't know what to do because I feel like people who are in positions to make decisions that affect people's actual lives are, you know, just blatantly disregarding good advice and advice that will actually save people's lives. And it's just like I don't know what to do. So
Mind-boggling.
that's the only thing I could think of tonight because, of course, we had new announcements in Ontario. I was working late trying to make the appropriate adjustments at my work site because I'm an essential worker, who works on site, and all these things impact. So, yeah, it's very troubling to be living with a government who does not take good advice or advice in the interest of human life. So that's what I mean. And don't get me started. I
know we'll be
will
here for
get
a
a
few
lot
hours.
stronger than this, but right now, that's all I feel
I
like
know.
saying about it. I feel like people should be informed about, you know, what's happening, and I think people are, because they have to be. But there's, I don't know, if you have any type of power, if you can say something, if you can do something, then I think now's the time to do it. If you can call your representatives, tell them, you know,
I
what you
agree, because
believe in.
I don't know, I don't want to say it again, but it's like, if you listen to my music, I've been saying it for 10 years, but it's not like it hasn't happened in the last 10 years. You know, it's always been going on. But you know, it really comes down to us. You know what I mean? It comes down to, like, because they're supposed to do this for us. Like, this is their government appointed jobs, and then we have to demand this out of them. We have to demand, you know, to do their jobs properly and to take the advice of the proper, you know, professional people that should be listened to. And I know government is just sloppy, really. It's just kind of clunky, and it's just stupid. It's just kind of like, it's disappointment, and it's kind of frustrating too, where it's just like, yeah, we could have made these measures, we could have done a lot of things, and it just, like, it was so clunky.
We still can, but they're making a choice not to, right?
Exactly. And
There's
that's what's the frustrating
being made
thing.
all along the way.
Yeah. It's just like very frustrating.
Anyways, not to end on a negative.
No, but let's talk. We're talking about good things about this, you know, about making music and doing stuff like this. So I'm glad.
There are so many silver linings, like many that I could highlight for sure. I think it's just today is hard.
It is hard because we hit another blow today, so it was just like, fuck.
Yeah, I think you know, a lot of us maybe thought, oh, maybe today they'll put paid sick leave on the table. Maybe today they'll prioritize essential workers who have been in grocery stores since day one and still don't have access to the vaccine. I don't know, but nothing like that. Nothing like that. Just
thank you for being an essential worker and doing your thing and being in the front lines, and you know, especially in the medical world and places where people are dealing with this no matter what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and totally.
I took my camera out right away, like the first couple of weeks, as like a news reporter instinct, and I just went basically like super shoot first, ask questions later, and I got a ridiculous amount of footage, and it was just like,
what do you mean footage? Did you talk to people?
No, I just was like anonymous. I just kind of like just out of sight, out of mind cameraman, and I just went everywhere. I went in the grocery stores. I just don't ask questions. I just shoot. I just get like, I don't ask anybody any permission. I just go in with my camera. I had like a backpack, and
can you not use it?
Yeah, you can use whatever you want. You can. It's
a free world.
You already got your footage. It's really the permission to allow you to be in the building and stuff like that. You can get whatever footage you want. As long as you get it, it's yours after the fact.
All right.
And if you're shooting in public, you can shoot on a sidewalk. And if anybody tells you otherwise, you can tell them to go fuck themselves, because it's private property and you can shoot anything from the sidewalk. Just FYI, as a news reporter shooter.
Just so you know.
Just so you know. Anyway, so I went I went everywhere. I went in the grocery stores with all the shelves empty. I got all this footage. I went downtown when it's just a ghost town. I got empty everything. I got, you know, all the stores closed down. I got all this just kind of like just the outside perspective of it, just like a non-judgmental perspective of just B-roll of just everything that happened, and I kind of just captured the chaos within the first 3 weeks, and then I got key moments like first day of mask requirement and stuff like that, and just kind of like I've slowly pieced together this kind of like documentary where it's just going to be like,
Interesting.
yeah, so it's
That's
just
cool.
kind of on the low key right now, but I'm trying to bring it around to a year, and it's just going to be like this nice little visual, not
Wow.
nice, but it's just like it's just
Just a
going to be like,
snapshot of this time in history. Like,
and there was a lot of people down there. Like I went downtown, and I went like near BMO Bank, like the Bay Area and stuff like that, and I go right up until I'm asked to stop shooting. I just get whatever I can until somebody tells me no. And usually like I have my footage by the time somebody tells me to leave, and I'm very polite, and I'm just like, I'm just shooting, and then somebody will say, well, you need to leave. And I'm like, sure, no problem. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And, yeah, I just kind of like, that's the way I've always been. Like that was my first job when I was like 21, was a news shooter. And it's always kind of like been the centerpiece of my music, really, because the thing that really drove me into, like we were talking about earlier, like what really is there events that shake you up into like writing things and like the type of artist you are, and I know you're very outspoken about a lot of things that I've spoken on my records about before, and it's that a lot of that drives me to write the certain subjects that I do too, right? And the one of the songs that was really important to me and I'm really proud of is Stay Focused, and that's like become my staple song. But I wrote that about the water protectors like from 5-6 years ago. I wrote the song like almost 7 years ago, and it was about the people in Dakota that were like putting their lives on the line to be protectors of water. And I was just like, holy shit. And like just the way the fucking news went off on it of like,
well, they didn't cover it at first.
Categorize. It didn't get covered until people like me went out there and covered it, journalists, guerrilla journalists. And then it caught wind, people with social media and stuff like that. But the way, because I've worked in media and I know how it's worded. I know how things get worded. It's done
of course.
purposely, right?
Of course.
So the way that they worded these people were like, they're terrorists, they're all this shit. They're
protesters.
like that. Exactly. So I wrote that in the song of like this, da 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 da, call me terrorist. So it's like, this is all like, and then it was weird because we went to Seattle and Portland, and the two areas, like the song's kind of about like nonconformity, and it's kind of like opening up the veil of like really what's going on. I talk about police state in it and a whole bunch of shit. And it's like the two places that we shot our music video in were the two cities that flipped its lid and in after all the riots and stuff like that. And I'm like, all the shit that we shot, we had no idea. Like all these scenes in the video are like from this main area. And it's like, well, I guess my song incited all these riots.
Like, I don't know if it incited it.
No, I'm just joking. I'm being ridiculous. I'm being absolutely ridiculous. I like to be ridiculous. But no, it's like, I think certain subject matters are important with music, and it's like music is a driving force to get that language across,
and it sounds like you were like seeing that, or at least perceiving that around you at that time when
for a long time
you were writing
like
that
10 years,
and making those videos, right? Like that's what you're seeing. So it's like when you highlight that and bring it to people in a creative way, in a way that even sometimes maybe it's like accidental. They just like the song, and then it's like, oh, this content is making me think now, and that can be a huge like bridge to
Mm-hmm.
understanding or like just exposure to something that you maybe lived in a bubble outside of for most of your life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that absolutely like music like yours that actually talks about real issues outright, like not in a, you know,
Candy coated way.
yeah, like outright, like this is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It can be like, yeah, like I think of it as like a bridge, like a connector of,
Communication in a way, kind of,
yeah,
really. And I know it's like people say, like this, we'll round it out with this, but like people say with like the social media and all that stuff is that you have to be a brand, like you're a specific artist, you have to kind of brand yourself in a specific, like, who are you, like what is your take, or like you're the rapper who talks about, I don't
right.
know, fucking jets all the time, or are you like a lumberjack, or like what's your shtick, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't want a shtick, really. It's kind of like, and people really kind of like, I guess, talked about me as a political rapper I've been known as, but I really don't want to be like that. It's like, like a few of my songs are like that, and a lot of it's based like that, but it's kind of like, to me, I'm embodying like just like a reporter, you know what I mean? So it's like, I've always been a reporter since day one. I've always had journalistic instincts and journalistic, training. I think that's an embodiment of my whole persona, So it's like, and I always look at rappers as like street reporters, you know what I mean? We're just kind of like reporting what's going on, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not really, I don't really want to talk about nasty shit, but it's just like, I see it right in front of my eyes. So I'm going to relay it in poetry form that I've written and translating it through cool beats that people can jive to and listen to. So like my first thing was the G20. Like I was thrown into the G20. And then after that, I wrote a song that really had a lot of meaning. And I was like, oh, there it is. That's what, and then it's just kind of like, I guess that's you start becoming, I'm not saying like if it's like completely politically activist type of music, but it's just like I think you find some sort of passion that you're really strong about. And it's like either like on a humanitarian level or like just like a straight up being a decent human being level, and it's like you're reaching out in a compassionate way. And I guess that's your drive, and that kind of really helps you as an artist to become the type of artist. Is that making any sense? You know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
is that kind of
totally.
like what you're embodying a bit? Because like that's, we'll
I
finish
think,
up with that. Like, yeah.
yeah, for me, I think I find it more challenging to write about my like beliefs or like my thoughts on an issue because I always want to like make it just right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel much more confident writing about just like my life or my
Mm-hmm.
experiences because obviously, if you grow up writing a diary, like it's kind of the same thing. You're writing about your life and you're just like expressing your experiences. So to write about other things going on that maybe I don't know that much about, or I don't have that lived experience of something, or I'm seeing something, but maybe I haven't, I don't know, like been able to put it into the words to make it come across the way that I want it to. So I definitely think about a lot of different writing kind of inspirations. And absolutely, I'm a person who pays attention to, I guess, what you would call politics, and also just, you know, societal events. I don't know. So bringing those into my music is a challenge for me. I want to do that, but it's a lot more challenging, I find, in terms of songwriting. But definitely, I think it will happen for me. It's just probably because it's not the way that I've written always. Like I've always written just, you know, about my life. So
Yeah.
writing about just anything other than that is going to take a lot more practice, I think, for me. But it's definitely because that's the way I like to express myself. And there's certain songs that by other artists that I sing that are, you know, having a message, like especially, you know, songs by Buffy St. Marie. There's certain songs that I will sing along to of hers that are just so powerful in that way of the message that they're sending. And I would love to write a song like that one day. Yeah.
I'd also like to get into handing songs off to people because I like writing. I really do. And sometimes it's not for me. Like it's not, I write something and I want to execute it, but it's just like, I know I'm super picky. I'm like ridiculously picky, and I'm like picky to the point where I'm like honest, you know what I mean? Where I've scrapped things that are good, but it's just like, it's not good enough, you know? And that's just music, and that's just subjective, you know? That's just the cutting board, the way it goes, right? But yeah, I would love to like write some songs and hand it off to somebody that they can kind of tweak to themselves and be kind of that background kind of part of the production, you know. Like my previous album I did with the Bad Meat LP, I had 3 songs with Narani on it, and I just knew I wrote these hooks and I just knew I couldn't do it. It's just like, it's not gonna, I can't I can't explain these words properly with the way I'm doing it. And she sang it, and it was just like, it just had so much more meaning with her singing it with the words that I wrote, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just like, I knew it. It's like, I knew that's the way I wanted it to hear it. And it's just like, I like to get more into that, more kind of like that, more of expansion.
Like producing or songwriting. Almost.
Well, I've been producer for 20 years. I was a producer
for like other people.
For other people. And I did that for this young chap back here for 10 years before I was even started as a solo rapper. So it's like, I would like to take that, not fully on, but like slow steps of it, you know? And, and also kind of like, I don't know a whole lot, but I've learned a lot through trial and error with this streaming stuff and with the music and owning your stuff and you know, it's good to own your rights because it's nice to share your music. But if somebody's out there making money off your music, it's good to know that you protect yourself and stuff like that, how to put it out there. So it's just like, I want to help kind of share that education, and then I'm going to start bringing in people that are educated in that and help us understand that a little more better together, you know, as a group and as a community. And like, just, you know, somebody not knowing like how to stream, and we're just kind of like helping each other build up slowly, you know what I mean? Because that's what touring did before, and it's just helping each other in faraway places. So I'm glad we can do this, and I'm glad we can chat even though we're in the same city. But it's nice to, you know how far it is from the east end to the west end. Sometimes it seems like 3 cities away.
I really don't see people.
Neither do I. I've been like bubbled in this east end for like since December pretty much. I've maybe been out
Yeah.
a couple of days outside to the beaches, but other than that, it's like I've been here for about 4 or 5 months. It's just weird, and it's like, but I've come accustomed to it. It's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
I'm so happy we can do this, and I'm glad we went on an hour and a half here. See,
Oh,
it's just
thank you so
easy to
much
do.
for having
Yeah,
me.
problem. Anything you really want to plug other than the album and all that stuff? You just want any closing remarks or anything? Or
Well, thank you so much. And yes, I would love for anyone to listen to the EP, the Late Bloomer EP, streaming everywhere. It's also on Bandcamp. There's t-shirts there too. But yeah, follow me on Instagram. That's where you can get all the latest music stuff. That's where I post a lot more than my Facebook or Twitter, which you also can follow me at. But Instagram's the number one. And yeah, thank you, Alex. Thank you,
no problem.
Focus, for having me
Yeah,
on the Focus podcast. This is
awesome.
my first podcast experience. So I hope it's
Sweet.
okay. I'm going to have to watch it back and just like be cringing. But
No, it was great.
I appreciate you having me here. This is a fun way to spend a Friday night.
It sure is. I really appreciate it, Maggie. Thank you so much for performing for us and the audience and bringing in people to watch this. And yeah, capping off Focus Podcast number 20. And if anybody's a numerology fan out there, it's April 16th today, which adds up to 20. So,
Oh my gosh. Wow.
it's the way it
I do
rolls.
like that stuff.
Yeah, it just kind of hit me. So
Very nice. Very nice.
awesome. Thank you so much, Maggie. And check out her album everywhere. Go get it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good night. Stay focused.
Bye.
Oh, sorry, I kind of cut Maggie off at the end or halfway through. Bye. Thank you so much, Maggie, for joining us tonight. And see, it just goes off with the time sometimes. You just having a conversation and just chilling and talking. And I really like to thank our first guest tonight, KufKnotzChristineElise and KristineElise. You can check his website out, KufKnotz.com. And they got a new album coming out pretty soon. Pretty amazing duo. And you can catch their albums on Bandcamp. New album coming out in a couple of weeks, actually, just a couple of days after my birthday. I'll buy myself a birthday present and get that album. Yeah, so you can follow them on Instagram, KufKnotzChristineElise and KristineElise Sharp, or Harp. I didn't read that right. KristineElise Harp. Yeah, great duo. And like I said before, early in the broadcast, I was supposed to meet with this fine dynamic duo in Ottawa, and we were supposed to do a show in Toronto, blah, blah, blah. But I really hope I get to play with these guys one day soon. And that's their promo picture. And it was a great time tonight seeing them on the show and having them as a guest. And yeah, you can check their Bandcamp out. And want to thank Maggie for being on the show. You can check her album out on Bandcamp. Just came out a month or so ago. And yeah, check it out May 7th or any day you can buy the album. And you can check all their stuff out on Instagram too. They're Maggie Rae Music. Awesome. So this is Focus, wrapping up another Friday night, and thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in tonight. You can check all my stuff out. I got a website, amgrinding.com, and you can check out all my music too on this platform and other platforms. Can't speak anymore. I'm a little tired. But yeah, you can check out all my albums on every platform out there. And yeah, so tomorrow night I'll be on Instagram, Focus Rap, 8 p.m. performing live like I do every Saturday night, and Sunday night back here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. I'll be joined with my buddy Paul, and we're gonna have Focus and Paul's music show where we highlight local bands and local artists. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna cue up some music here and gonna head out of this broadcast. And thank you so much for watching, and stay focused. Have a good night, folks.